We're looking at shadows and how does our shadows affect our sexuality. So, nice to see everybody here. Please give me a like. Drop me a comment if you have any questions. So, let's get started then. So, let's first have a look at like what exactly are shadows, and we can just say shadows are any aspects of ourself that we are basically not connected with and we've ignored. So what goes into our shadow is very much dictated by our society. Our society today, it dictates that we should put our negative emotions in a little box, try to shut them away, block them off, and basically pretend that we can just repress them and that that's the way to deal with them. We're told to do the same with the sexuality, put it in this little box, you know. And these are two very core essential parts of ourselves that if we look at the body and the self holistically, we can see how important they are. How important it actually is that we have these sexual feelings, that we have our sexuality. How important it is also that we have negative feelings. And if you're going to sit there and tell me negative feelings are bad, I just want you to think about what happens when you are walking along and suddenly you look down and there's a 1,000-foot drop down a cliff, and the fear freezes you in your tracks and it stops you and it saves your life. You know, this is a good example. Another example being that anger can indeed, and this is one I'm going to be talking about today. I'm really going to go into detail on it on Thursday. So if you've not signed up to my live event on Thursday, definitely time to do so. If you don't know how to find the sign up for that, put a comment below asking for that, because I'm really going to go into this detail about how we can in particular transmute the energy of anger and how important it is to do this for actually all our sexual energy to basically be able to function properly. So these shadows, right, are these things, especially when we're like trying to be good people, we're trying to be conscious, we're trying to be spiritual, we're trying to be high vibes, and we try to just push those things down and pretend they don't exist, be all angelic, or, you know. And it's not to say there isn't a place for these things. Of course there's a place for these, but if we haven't actually gone into our darkness, if we haven't gone deep within ourselves and really created a relationship with these parts of ourselves that are intrinsically a part of us, they're going to be playing out havoc in our lives. And we may enjoy the havoc, right? You know, I know that there are people that enjoy especially the havoc that having an unbalanced relationship with the sexuality can cause, that they kind of get off on it. They say, oh, this is a buzz, at least I'm getting like, you know, turned on by it. Well, in reality, there's a much, much deeper way to experience much, much more pleasure. But it kind of changes a bit of takes a bit of a shift in perspective and looking differently at the situation, and to actually be able to experience this. So if we look, for example, if we take a common sexual problem, a very common sexual problem is, we'll say anorgasmia in women, and I'm using the term broadly. It can include like have a difficulty to have an orgasm, even bearing in mind that we as women are naturally actually multi-orgasmic beings. The fact even of only having one orgasm, not having internal orgasms, this is a kind of like, you know, we're not having the pleasure that we really are able to actually have. Because as women, we can be in a state where just very extremely gentle touch can give us, you know, very long extended periods of full body orgasms. We don't need to chase it. We don't need to fight it when we're connected in there. And what's going on with that? Because ultimately, look, yeah, I mean, there are amazing Taoist exercises out there that really, really can help us get in touch and control and mastery of our sexual energy. But without doing the groundwork, so the groundwork meaning the work with the emotions, these exercises can actually cause harm to us and be worse than like not doing it in the first place. So as women, you know, the more that we are actually trying to be the good girl, trying to do the right thing, trying to not be angry, when we're not in touch with our anger, when we're not in touch with our other energies. And of course, you know, we all love to be very feminine and very sweet. It's really juicy and lovely to be like this, but we also do have, you know, if we look at the ancient goddesses, many of the love goddesses were also warrioresses as well, and had that power in them that we've been taught to fear the woman that has, you know, the energy and the strength in her. I mean, my God, I put on my Instagram this morning, and I like to follow other people that are talking about, you know, things that I like to hear stuff about. And, you know, this one lady was talking about polarity stuff, and actually just talking about women who talk too much. Well, you know, maybe I talk too much, maybe not enough, I don't know yet. But just kind of shaming women for talking too much. And I'm just like, okay, I can get, yeah, like sometimes just shut up, right? Yeah, definitely. Sometimes just getting your body and out of the head, definitely. But unless we've actually gotten into the place where all our energies are aligned and we're sitting there trying to be feminine, we're just going to come across as weird and fake because we're not really being ourselves, you know? So, you know, this emotional repression, and it can be repression of emotions around, you know, various kinds of traumas, the fact we've been maybe made to feel like really unsafe about being female, about being sensual, about letting go, that we've been kind of told that these things are inherently harmful and dangerous towards us, and they just cause us all to kind of tense up in the abdomen, the body, the pelvis especially, and it just shuts down the orgasmic energy and stops it from moving. And the same goes with men as well. So, you know, there's many men out there. So they say statistically, official statistics are saying 40% of men are not actually like having an orgasm. Sorry, are coming too quickly. Yeah, are having premature ejaculation. There is some men who don't have orgasms as well. This is much less common. You know, even if you add to that the men that are not really in control, you know, you're having like an enormous amount of probably billions of men worldwide that are not, you know, being able to last very long and have the pleasure that they deserve or be able to give it because of having like this kind of you know, a sexual problem. And the same thing, what does it come down to? Men are taught to repress their feelings in their own way, to repress their tenderness, to hide who they really are. The same thing, this all goes into the body tenses up, the sexual energy arises, it's not able to move up the body because there's all this tension and emotional blockages, and it just comes out very quickly as an ejaculation as well. And I mean, the reason I wanted to do this live was, first of all, to tell you guys we're going into much more details about this on Thursday. I hope you've signed up. I know that the masterclass is geared towards women. Don't worry, guys, you're going to get loads out of this, and you're going to actually find that learning about the woman's side of things is really, really helpful as well. So I definitely suggest sign up. If you don't know how to sign up, please do drop in the comments a question. So thank you for the compliments, everybody who's paying. Is there a question there? I can't see a question. Okay, so essentially, you know, I know that there's like, you know, so many, especially like so many guys out there that to varying degrees have tried out these multi-orgasmic man exercises of squeezing the perineum and so on to try to kind of get their sexual energy flowing and to get the full body orgasms happening so that they don't ejaculate anymore. But the thing is that if you're with your partner and you're just doing that and you're not able to connect with her energy, it's really, really like self-defeating, you know? And it's so important to really actually be able to connect with the energy and really just be vulnerable with that energy, because that energy, the sexual energy is about so much more than a performance, you know, whether it's as a woman wanting to have multiple orgasms, as a man wanting to have multiple orgasms. In a sense, yeah, although it's an amazing thing and it's definitely a sign of the energy in the body doing something pretty cool when we're having multiple orgasms, it's like if we're just chasing multiple orgasms, it's just another form of spiritual bypassing where we're not doing the work that we really, really need to do. And I know that because we grow up and we're not taught the tools to be able to really understand this energy and get in touch with this energy and be able to transform this energy, it can all seem really scary. But when we actually start learning to take, you know, whether we're going to call the energy anger, fear, whether it's like some terrible thing that happened to us, some trauma that we have, or whatever it is that's got stuck inside of our bodies, when we can actually take these things and just be like, you know, turn them, transform them, turn them into a superpower, because these things have that power within them. I mean, I'm in groups with other female entrepreneurs, and I know that, you know, some people will presume that maybe we're, you know, born with silver spoons up our asses and so on, and that our lives have always been easy. It's surprising how many female entrepreneurs are literally dealing with, you know, even partners beating them, attacking them. It's not uncommon at all. You know, some who've literally escaped being like human trafficked, sex workers, and so on. And this is about these women learning to take actually what is been used to oppress them and find a power within it. And all these things that we try to avoid. And of course, look, you know, there's times we don't want to spend the whole day like wallowing in our anger or our, you know, whatever it is, you know. But I also find that when we, and this especially goes with anger, when we actually finally accept that our anger is really like intrinsically a part of ourselves, it's such a calming thing. It's so liberating and it's so calming, because we finally just accept, and instead of being in this state of dissonance and trying to push it down, we're just like, wow, accept that's part of us. And I mean, interestingly enough, in Chinese medicine, anger relates to the liver, and the liver meridians come up through the sexual organs and through the genitals. And very much so in the same way, well, we actually say that the strength of a man's erection is directly related to his liver as well. So having a healthy liver, this is why, for example, some users of substances may be finding their erection is suffering because of the effect, the knock-on effect that's having on the liver. And the same goes for women, that when we are like repressing a lot of anger, and this is one thing I'm finding with my female clients, that, you know, when I, through my own experience of learning to really integrate my anger and bring that energy into every cell of my being, and like how incredibly calming that was for me, and how it really allowed me to just be much more comfortable in my life and in my body. And it's so interesting to notice people that I would say just maybe seemed like agitated, or seemed upset, or seemed like there was always this kind of irritation or maybe passive aggression, just becoming like much more peaceful in themselves and much happier actually, you know, and not more aggressive, if anything less aggressive, as they're starting to get in touch with this energy. So I want to invite you to make sure that you've signed up to Thursday to the masterclass. Do drop me a comment if you don't know how to do that. And also, if you're watching this and you're interested to know actually about how do I do this work, how can you start doing this work, do please drop me a DM, send me a DM, and I can give you, if you're seriously interested in this, I can give you a free 15-minute consultation to see if it would work for you. So so lovely to see everybody there, to see and feel your beautiful energy. I just want to see if I had any. It's not showing me questions there. Okay, do I have any questions here? So weird, I can't read the questions. But please do, just to let me know that you've been here, please do drop for me a like, or whatever you want, a symbol you want to use to just let me know you've been here. drop me a comment so that I can see that you've been here. Ask me any questions, I can get back to you. I also have like a lot of free resources I'm giving out to people, so if you have any questions around any of that, do just get in there, drop a comment. My assistant will come and tomorrow, and he will send you something if you need any more information about this. So I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of your day. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, beautiful tomorrow, beautiful tonight, and sending lots of love and blessings. Bye. Oh, see you on Thursday. Bye.